Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. This should just be a quickie today. Stop laughing at the back. I am going to try and make a dry stone wall for a diorama project I've got coming up. And I'm going to use these. These are granite chips, road scalpings. You've seen me use these before. They use them to surface roads. And they did some roads around here over the summer, and when they finished they left piles of this stuff laying about, so I just grabbed a couple of handfuls of it. But what I'm going to try and do is use these granite chips to make a dry stone wall. So I'm going to make a form, we'll put the stones in it and then try and stick them together. So let's get on with it.
So what I've done here is I've got a piece of cardboard that came from the the Mary Rose box from the build I did a couple of weeks ago, and I've made a form out of Lego, and I've put the stones in it, and I'm going to put them in this cup, and I'm going to mix them up with some Mod Podge mat, which hopefully will stick them all together. So we'll mix it up in the cup, put it back in the mould, and see what it looks like. So I'm just going to tip the stones into the cup and add a good squirt of the Mod Podge, and I'll mix it up with a coffee stirrer and then put it back into the mould again. Now, one last thing before I put the stones back into the mould, I'm just painting the cardboard, and also I'll do the inside of the mould. And this brush has Vaseline on it. And basically it's so that the glue won't stick to the inside of the mould or to the cardboard especially. And now I'm just going to again use the coffee stirrer, just scoop the stones out and refill the mould. So just try and get them in, as much of it back in as I can. What I'm trying to do as well is trying to leave one end slightly less packed, because I want it to look like part of the wall has crumbled. So what I'll do is, as I spread the stones around, I'll actually leave part of the end with fewer stones in it, so that it's it looks a bit more sort of organic, as it were, a bit more like the wall's partially collapsed from age. But yeah, just put all the stones back in and then leave it to dry. Right, so that's been in the mould now for a couple of hours. It's seems to have set quite nicely. So yeah, I think that's worked quite well. So what I've got to try and do now is get it out of the mould without wrecking it. So let's see if we can get this out in one piece. So this is the nice thing about using the Lego, is the fact that you can kind of dismantle the mould around the piece. This is also a technique I use for making silicone rubber molds, which I've done in another video. So yeah, it works quite well. So we'll just take this apart until we can get the piece out. So I'll take it to bits and we'll see what it looks like. Right, so I've taken one half of the mold off completely, and I'm just separating it from the other half. So you have to be careful with it. Even with the Vaseline, it still does try and stick to the mold quite well. But that's come out in one piece, which I'm very pleased about. So yeah, I think this is going quite well. It's quite hefty. I'll give it that. It's got some gravity to it. I mean, obviously it's made of granite, so it's going to be fairly heavy. But what we've got to do now is leave it and let it, make sure it's dry completely. And so I'll leave it for, you know, another couple of hours or even overnight. I mean, I don't really have anything else to do with it right at this moment. So I'll leave it, make sure it's completely cured all the way through. And then after that, we can come back and have a look at the finished product, as it were. But yeah, this has come out very well. I'm very pleased with this. And here is the finished article. As I just mentioned, I'm very pleased with how this has come out. This has actually turned out better than I had hoped. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this, and you will see this in an upcoming diorama. I also made a few others while I was at it. So there's a couple there that are like a shorter piece, and some pieces that look a bit more sort of crumbled. So I don't know if I'll use all of those on the diorama that I've got in mind, but I've got them for the future if I need them. So yeah, I hope this was of interest to you, and I hope you'll join me in a future video when you'll see me using these walls. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.